Hi, thanks for spending time with me today. I hope you're enjoying these little sessions and finding them useful in your own practice. That's why I'm doing them. So we're going to take a look at 51 in the Max Pottag's Preparatory Melodies to Solo workbook. I did a series on this. I ended up doing 1 through 49. I think almost all of them are in there. And there are quite a few. Let's see. This book keeps going and going. A lot of great material. Yeah, there's 98 altogether. So I decided to return to them now because I have a new horn. I'm getting used to the horn. And it's great to play music when you're getting used to a new horn because you're kind of instinctively, unconsciously discovering things about what's different from the horn that you were playing from the one that you're playing now. So we're going to look at 51. It's called Tempo di Marcia. Which is a march tempo, obviously. And what's that? Well, if you look at the Pops playing the Star Spangled Banner, a lot of times we go dum dum da da dum da 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 da. And if there's not much time left in the concert, and it's the last thing that we play, there was one very fun time when Mr. Lockhart was conducting at a very rapid pace because he could see the clock and he wanted to beat it because that would save the orchestra from paying overtime to all the musicians. And it was quite fun. We kept on going faster and faster, and it's pretty challenging for the wind players, especially when we're doing that. Okay, just a good memory. I hope you can identify with that in some way. As one of my former colleagues used to say, they can always beat faster than I can play. So here you get to choose your own tempo, because it's a solo. So it's a march. I'm going to go ahead and play through it in what I think is close to a march tempo, not 144 plus that we sometimes do in the Pops. So, a lot of what I do when I'm practicing is refining basic skills. So I get pretty tight in that one. I'm kind of pushing and pulling a little bit, pushing and then pulling back a little bit. And I want to always feel very kind of free and very light. And there are certain spots where that happened, where the dynamic change takes place. Is one of them. Also, when I saw accents, I started to pound a little bit, and I think this is a very typical issue for a lot of trumpet players. So let's just look at those things. I talked about this in the last episode, the dynamic change, but especially when we're going from loud to soft. So my natural tendency is I'm kind of do, so I get the big voice, and I go da da dee da, and I end up choking and holding back a little bit. So what I like to do is find the best sound throughout the dynamic range. So my sound transition wasn't too bad. I'd work on it a little bit more. It's not totally comfortable yet. But I need to be able to do that in the middle of the piece, playing it. So I don't only practice the transitions first, then I go back and try and see if I can do it in the context of playing the entire piece. So the dynamic transition, that's one thing. Something else that messes me up quite frequently, and I notice that many trumpet players have this problem, is when I start to tongue. For some people, when they start to tongue, they feel more secure. For other people, when they start to articulate, they feel less secure, like they're trying a little bit too hard. I tend to feel like I'm trying a little bit too hard. So, especially if I'm playing at the extremes of dynamics. So I'm going to play the pickups into the piano section. This is the end of the last bar, the end of the third line, and see if I can find it. Find what? Find the sense of balance so that I'm not struggling. So now I have a lot more dynamic contrast. I'm getting closer to where I want in terms of the sound of the articulation. And this is pretty much the way I work. Now, there can be underlying physical problems, habits, patterns of movement that you might have been doing since you first started playing the trumpet. And for some of us, that's a very long time. So when you have those patterns built into your body, you have to recognize, well, that's not getting the sound I want. Or it feels too hard. It shouldn't be that hard. It's like Herbert Clark used to say, playing the cornet poorly is very difficult, and playing the cornet well is very easy. And what that means is, when you're doing it well, your body goes like, "Yeah, I like this. This is fun. This is simple. It's easy." So you may be striving at an extreme detail. In terms of like, oh, I want to get just that quality of sound on the articulation. And that's the way I work. But if I'm tightening up to do it, then I'm basically ruining my practice. I need to be cultivating that sense of, can I keep my balance when I'm getting those sounds? That's pretty much it. So at the third line from the bottom of this, you'll see dotted 8 sixteenth, and we're in 2, so 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I'm practicing that. If I'm going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, da da da, then my subdivision is. Now that's quick, but if you realize I'm trying to hit that target, how quickly can you do it? Some of you are going to have no problem with this at all. It'll be an easy single, just ta-ta-da, ta-da, a light tongue. It'll just snap out through the horn. Others might have some difficulty. If you have a lot of difficulty with it, you can try it with the K. But that means you'll have to learn how to do the K so that it sounds just like the T. That's what I've done, but not everybody needs to do that. In most cases, you can just do it with a single tongue. The key here is aiming at the target. So if I'm going... So for most players, you have to wait. Wait as long as you can before you go to play the 16th as the pickup into the next beat. And when you do that, it starts to get a lot easier. Easier is better. Now you don't have to think about it. You don't have to try so hard, and that solves a lot of the problems right there. I'll just do the end for you. I decided at the last minute you have an option as the way you play the end. You can either take it up the octave or down the octave. And I decided to do both. I went up the octave and then I dropped down 2 octaves because I knew that would make it more challenging for me. But I'm looking for something very specific here. So let's see. I'm going to start just near the end. It's piano, mezzo forte, and then double forte. So this is what? 1. Yeah, pickups to like 7 before the end, where it says piano. So I got it. I played the right notes. It sounded okay, but that doesn't satisfy me. I want to be able to do it with the gesture, with the attitude, with that sense of the movement of the march, not just getting the notes. So what are the ingredients? I need to follow through. So there's staccato and there's rests in there. So, but if I were practicing it, I would do something like this. And if I can't do that, I'm not able to maintain a continuous connected airflow all the time. Then my body is going to be getting tight and trying to manipulate that air. I'll do it with the tongue. I'll pinch it with the lips a little bit. My throat might grab a little bit, get tight a little bit. I might have tension in the breathing system. Oops, I'm hitting the microphone here. I might have tension in the breathing system that causes everything to kind of lock up and the air is not flowing anymore. So my goal is, can I get a smooth connection between the notes, regardless of the dynamic or the range? And I might spend a fair amount of time practicing that. I might do it the way it's written, only with a slur, as I just demonstrated, or backwards. Oh, now that's a lot harder. As soon as I try and do a 2-octave slur to the upper register, and I feel the pressure coming on, those are all old reflexes, and we've pretty much all got them. Now, if I practice that for a few minutes, I'd be able to do it, because I know how to do it, but the old reflexes are still there. So when I think about doing this, I say, oh, that's hard. A 2-octave slur, from the low A to the high A, smoothly with no break in the sound. Wow, that's hard. That means I need to practice it. So you can think of all these tunes that I'm playing as a jumping off point for drills that you might already be doing, for things that you can select from Schlossberg or Arbin or the Goldman Practical Studies or so many other books that you may already have and be using to focus on practicing just the particular issue you're looking for. One more thing and I'll let you go. There's a new accent in here. At the end you have, and throughout, you have had sometimes what you might call a long accent, the accent that goes like this. Now we have Marcato accents. That's interesting. So the last 2 notes need a Marcato accent. And a Marcato, most trumpet players try way too hard. I know I certainly do. So I want you to experiment with when you feel that really free, fat, open sound that's got good focus and good resonance to it, and there's no stress on your chops. It feels, fun, comfortable. And you get a very commanding sound on the instrument without a lot of effort. Just add the lightest tongue to it. The biggest mistake that most people make is they try and tongue too hard. So they see that Marcato marking, and it's like, and that puts a lot of stress on the chops and destabilizes your whole system. You're kind of backing up the air when you do that. All right, that's enough technical stuff. I'll let you go practice, and please join me for the next episode when you have a chance. Have a great day. Bye-bye.